Good morning. Welcome to the nurse station. I'm not actually in the nurse station right now. I am at home. I just came home and washed up, and I'm getting ready to go to bed. But I wanted to complete this first episode of the nurse station where I'm doing a review on my current job. My name is Tia. I've been a nurse for 16 years and I've been in healthcare for about 25 years. So, more than half of my life, I've been in healthcare. I'm 47. So, yeah, most of my life I've been taking care of people. Needless to say, I have been a travel nurse, a corrections nurse, hospital nurse, and most of all, nursing home nurse, clinics, home care, rehabs, and so on. However, I've decided to start reviewing all of these places in which I have worked. I've worked everywhere from Michigan to Florida and most places in between while I was doing the travel jobs. So, if you've experienced if it's any genre of nursing, I've probably experienced it, and I'll be happy to share my experiences with you, especially if you currently live in the Florida area. I can tell you who's paying, who's not, where you can go to be treated treated well, and or where you'll be treated like crap, basically. And yeah, that's my focus. At some point, I want to get to the point where I have guests come on. Of course, they will be disguised. I don't care. I'm here to give you the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but my truth. And yeah, hopefully this will force the hands of the area nursing homes to do better by the nursing staff, pay better, better treatment, and stop treating the staff as if they need the facilities, because we really don't. Facilities need the staff a hell of a lot more than the staff need the facilities. So, my current employer, the owner decided that she owns two nursing homes in DeLand, along with some other businesses. The two in DeLand are both under the same umbrella, named after, how do I say this? Another name for a college or a higher learning institution. Okay? So, my current employer is right off of New York Avenue in DeLand. It's right on New York Avenue in DeLand. Anywho, the owner decided that she was going to start her own nursing agency. So, the nursing agency, which I am a part of, we get paid every week. At some point last week, they decided to fire the payroll, the woman in payroll, on payday, mind you. So you have all these employees lined up to get their paycheck. Now, keep in mind, they do not offer direct deposit. Why don't they offer direct deposit? Because no banks will fuck with them. That's why they don't offer direct deposit. Okay, they bounce checks all over the fucking city, so no banks will deal with them. So we have to go in and pick up a paycheck. This is so inconveniencing. Needless to say, once we got there this past Friday, we discovered that the payroll woman had been fired and we had to wait hours for her paycheck. And there was some rumblings, and the administrator decided to share with some of the staff at that time that the payday would be changed from Friday to Tuesday. So if our checks were short, to come back on Tuesday and pick up the rest of your paycheck. And then from that point on, the time would not go in at the normal time, which was Wednesday to Thursday. It would be from Saturday until Sunday. This was all done on payday, not in a memo. They didn't leave a little note at the time clock. Um, they didn't even tell all of the staff. They just told a handful of staff verbally. Me being Tia, I would like to hear it from the administration. So, this past Friday, which was yesterday, because today is Sunday, Saturday morning, yesterday I decided to go and write the administrator a letter. I wrote her a nice, long, very professional letter, and I just simply stated that I would like to be notified as to what is going on with our pay periods and paychecks and thus forth. and I left my phone number. Of course, she never called me. I went to work as scheduled last night. There was a check there for me, but it was only for 3 days, and it was from the week prior. Because remember, my check was short for last week because they changed the pay period. So yeah, this week, Friday, I did not receive a paycheck. So I called the administrator, and she informed me verbally over the phone that our payday had indeed been changed to Tuesday. And that's when we would get paid from now on Tuesdays. So I guess the rumors that I heard were correct. They did change the pay period. I just feel like that was very unprofessional. That's just not a good way to conduct business when you're dealing with someone's money. Now, mind you, the other building that is owned by the same facility, they have no nurses. So the administrator had me on the phone, and she told me, well, I need help over at the West building because all of the nurses quit because they didn't get their money. So they quit. So they have no nurses. And she wanted me, who also did not get her money, to go over to West and help them out because they have no nurses. Now, mind you, I've just worked an 8-hour shift, 11 to 7, and she wanted me to go do 7 to 3, which is not unheard of for me to do. However, I told her I'm having difficulty focusing on helping you out in the other building because I haven't been paid yet. And the whole changing of the pay period, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Now, mind you, other employees have quit, so they're really, really short. I think they had one CNA in the building over there for the entire afternoon shift, which is 3 to 11. And someone has called the labor relations, which I don't know why they're surprised. When you fuck with people's money, that is what happens. The labor board gets contacted, and then they comb through all of your records, and you end up cutting checks to everyone. So that is my biggest gripe with this facility that I have been working in. There's other issues with the facility. There is a lack of respect for the staff time. Like one instance, I decided to work over because they did not have a day shift nurse. So I stayed over and I worked. And I told them, I said, listen, I drive 50 minutes because the facility is in DeLand and I live in the Orlando area. So I would like to leave at 2:30 so that I can kind of get ahead of the traffic. Everyone agreed, oh, yes, 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 yes. Thank you for staying. When it was time for me to leave, no one wanted to take the keys. None of the management wanted to count the cart. And now, mind you, I only wanted to leave at 2:30. The shift's over at 3. We count, give report. You have a half hour for that. And you should be out the door by 3:30. So none of the management, now mind you, the administrator is a registered nurse as well. And then there's unit manager and the director of nursing. And neither of them wanted to count the cart with me, accept a report, and obtain the keys so that I could leave early after staying and helping them out when they were short staffed. So they have no respect for your time, no respect for you as a floor nurse. You have to dot all your I's and cross all of your T's. But my issue is when there's other things that are happening during the shift. If a nurse forgets a little minor something, there's a huge, your name's plastered on this bright orange piece of paper and just up there for the world to see. Now, when you save their ass, no one puts your name on a bright orange piece of paper and says, oh, this nurse saved this patient's life, or she sent him out to the hospital and this was discovered during his labs. Kudos. None of that. None of that. And that's kind of how nursing is anyway. But this is such a small facility that little things like that make a difference. So, that's kind of just the way the industry is, though. You have a thankless job, and that's okay for the most part. But when it's like when it's just too much, it gets to be a little aggravating. So you have that issue. Then you have the passive aggressive way that the management team works. Instead of them, I prefer people to be direct and just straight up and tell me, this is what we need, this is what we want, instead of telling Peter one thing and then telling Susie another thing and going back and forth. Let's just get everyone on the same page. If you don't want the CNAs touching the assignment, tell the CNAs to stop touching the assignment. You can't tell the nurses and then not back the nurses up. That's what happens here a lot. They tell you that they don't want things happening or they want things to be implemented, but then when you attempt to implement these things, they don't back you up. So you're left with these CNAs, and I love CNAs. I'm a CNA at heart. You're left with these CNAs who have been working at this facility for like 20 years, and you're left to tell them things, but then the management doesn't back you up when you tell them, hey, they don't want you guys doing this, da, 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 don't change the assignment, blah, 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 but then they don't back you up. So you just start leaving your hands off of it. So yeah, I find them to be quite passive aggressive instead of just being upfront and direct, which I just find ineffective. I find that managerial skill to be just ineffective. But then there is the condition of the building. The building is super, super old. You don't have the things that you need. You have to be really smart and like a MacGyver in this bitch to take care of people a lot of times. I've kind of befriended the girl who does the central supply person who does who's a CNA who orders things. So she likes me. I bring her gifts, like chocolate once in a while. And I'm just super nice to her just to make sure that the medications, like the stock meds and things that I need, are in the facility. Not that I need, that the patients need. If you don't do these things, she doesn't really know what you really need if you don't like make it your business to communicate with her. And I work midnight shift. So a lot of times I have to make it my business to communicate with her so that the patients get what they need. Now, then you have the patients that are in the facility. Okay, we all know that the nursing home is no longer little old people. Little old people are easy. They're easy, they're simple. They're now these people have complex problems. You have the young ones that are just like a year or even younger than me. They're in the facilities, they're smoking, they're doing drugs, they're selling drugs, they're bringing alcohol to the other little old people, the actual little old people who actually need nursing homes. They're bringing drugs into them. They're bringing alcohol into them. So you got a ton of behaviors. You have behaviors that you have to deal with by yourself, and you have these passive aggressive as managers that do absolutely nothing to assist you in dealing with these behavior. I mean, and these people, I'm talking about bad behavior, poor behavior, inappropriate behavior. I'm not talking about you're mentally ill. No, I'm just talking about cussing, nasty, spitting, drunkard, drug addict people that you have to deal with. But, and then let's talk about the neighborhood that the facility is in, and there's no security. No security in the building whatsoever. I mean, I've never had anything happen at the facility outside of like another nurse's husband, just kind of, or ex-husband or whatever the hell he was, just, kind of be all in the parking lot. But I really haven't. I haven't had anything like that. Like no one's broken into my car or anything like that. But it's just in an unsavory neighborhood, which I'm from Detroit. That doesn't scare me, however, they do a lot of weird things like leave the door open. It's just not a priority. Our safety is not their priority. That's what I'm trying to say. And I just feel like when people are